loves, and welcome to Wednesday. I think it's about 8:30 in the morning, maybe 8:15. I haven't actually checked. My other half has just gone off to work, and as you've just seen, I've sat and just kind of blitzed a load of stuff that's in my head, some things that I am going to talk to you about in a little while. Now, I tend not to have my breakfast this early in the mornings that often, but I'm actually feeling really hungry this morning, so I'm going to make something. I don't know what. It might be something with eggs in it. I have a hankering for eggs in my breakfast this morning. So I'm going to do that and sit down and drink my cup of tea. I'm also going to do a little bit of reading as well. Now that I've just emptied my head of some stuff that was whirling around, I'm going to sit down and just read for 20 minutes, half an hour if I can spare it, depending on how long it takes me to kind of cook my breakfast and things. And yeah, just have a nice relaxing start to the day. Because my other half is not here today, I'm wandering around the house in my pyjamas, which is a luxury that I do not have the rest of the week, and I'm going to make the most of it. So eventually I will get myself dressed and sorted for work, but for now you're just going to have to put up with me in my overnight gear. So I eventually made it back upstairs again and got myself dressed and sorted, but it is nearly 10 o'clock and I just decided to have a slow morning this morning. I decided, realising that I was hungry a bit earlier than usual meant that I took a bit of time over my breakfast. I had a toasted mushroom, onion and cheese sandwich for my breakfast, and it was really nice, and I don't normally do that, but yeah, it was really good and really satisfying. I then started a new book that I have read the first few pages of. I'm a bit late to the party on this one. It's really good so far though. So got kind of lost in that world for a little bit, which was really soothing. Again, if you think back to what I was saying on Monday about just calming your nervous system down so that you can think clearly and make good decisions and move forward with things and get work done and so on, I think just having a slow morning this morning was a way of doing that. And then I took ages in the shower. I had a really nice, hot, relaxing shower. And the other slightly oddball thing that I did this morning is I was thinking about things that I used to do when I was teaching that used to keep stress at bay, or the horrible, overwhelming stress, not the stimulating stress that actually helps you do your job properly. And I used to have regular facials. I mean, at the time they were about £50 a pop, and there's no way, I mean they're probably like 60 now, there's no way that I could afford to do that. And like, they used to include a face massage and a neck massage and shoulders and all of that kind of thing, and I just thought, that used to really relax me. So I learnt like a small facial massage thing, and it was kind of based on like massaging your forehead, and I just learnt it and I did it, and afterwards I was just like, oh that's really good. That does help make me feel quite relaxed. So I think what I'm going to do tomorrow is just kind of work down my face, like find one for the eye area and then find one for my cheeks, find one for like my chin and my jaw, because I wonder whether, I mean, that might help with the outbreaks that I get on my chin, because when I was having the facials with the facial massage and everything, I definitely did not have this problem. And I know that that's not evidence that it was anything to do with the facial massage. It could just be coincidence, but it'll be interesting to test it out. And it's free, which at the moment I absolutely love. So speaking of money, I actually have some positive news. Sadly not positive news with regards to eBay and Etsy. They're still not really doing anything. I think I've had a couple of sales on eBay. That was it, not for anything much. But I have decided that I'm just going to keep going. We'll get to 400 to 500 listings on eBay, 300 to 400 on Etsy, and then that's it, because I think that realistically that's what I can manage on a day and a half up to 2 days a week. That's it, job done. And as long as I feel like I'm doing the work pretty well, reasonable systems in place, ways of doing the things that are logical and that make sense, then it makes what it makes. And that actually during this cost of living crisis, maybe the 8 grand a year that I used to make fairly easily on eBay, maybe it becomes 6 grand for a couple of years. And then if things pick up in the future, if I'm still doing it, then maybe it'll go back up again, but maybe it won't. So in terms of rescuing that income stream, I'm not actually going to put pressure on myself to rescue it, to get it back to the point that it was like pre the last 12 months. So that has helped me feel a lot clearer. I feel like I can sort of target that work more efficiently now moving forward, now that I'm clear about what it is that I actually want to get from it. So that's okay. That's actually a good thing, I think. Now, the positive news that I was actually going to tell you about is as follows. I was just working out money that is definitely going to come in November. So I'm going to have about £300 approximately coming in from YouTube, because most of the money that I earn in October will be paid out in November. And I think I've earned, I don't know, 360, something like that. And some of that crept into the like October payout, but most of it's going to come in November. So about £300 from YouTube. I had a sale. I woke up to a sale on Redbubble this morning, and someone has bought a king size comforter with one of my designs on it, which means that I make £45 from that one sale on Redbubble. And I was just looking at that on my phone this morning and just thought, well, isn't that a miracle? Like, isn't that a joyful, wonderful thing that this design that I put on probably 2 or 3 years ago, someone has decided that they want that on their bed for a start, but that also that I can get such a big chunk of money seemingly out of nowhere from work that I did, you know, years ago. It's just amazing. So I have got £300 coming from YouTube. That £45 should clear in time for that to be in my Redbubble payout. Also, I think actually that it might be more, because I think there's like £5 or £6 from a couple of other sales of much smaller items. So we could be looking at about £50 coming in from Redbubble. There's about £100 coming in from KDP again. That seems to have settled at around the £100 mark now, which is absolutely perfect. That's exactly where I wanted to be by the end of this year. And then, well, next year we'll talk about that in a separate video, but next year I have even bigger plans for it. So that's 445, probably more like 450. £450 is definitely coming in this month, and it's 10 o'clock on the 1st of the month. And I know that £450 is definitely guaranteed to come in. Like that's really great. That's really, really great. And then I also realised, because I had a £25 sale on Vinted. They do not come along that often in my book. Mostly the stuff I sell on Vinted is less than a £5, and it's quite often £1 or £2. But I had a £25 sale on an item, so it was a handbag that like is a collectible handbag that's kind of worth money, but it's so unbelievably bashed about, and it's got a little tear in the lining, and some of the leather's starting to kind of crack a little bit. I bought it secondhand. I bought it for, I think it was something like £16 or £17, probably about 6 years ago. Wore it incessantly for about 2 or 3 years, and then realised that I'd just stopped using it. And I just thought, well, it's sitting there, let's try and get some money for it. And to begin with, I was thinking, God, this is in an even worse state than when I got it, and I paid like £16, £17 for it. So I thought, I'll whack it on Vinted for a tenner. Was going to put it on eBay. I looked at the sold prices on eBay, and the ones that were in bad condition were like going for £10, £15, £20. And I just thought, well, I'll stick it on Vinted at 25, thinking that someone will probably make an offer, or I'll gradually reduce the price until someone wants to snap it up, because there was so many photos that I took of all the damage and all the things that were wrong with it, and I wrote in the description that it was well worn and well loved and all the rest of it. Within 3 hours, someone had bought it for the £25, and I just thought, that's good. That's good, because I need the £25. Also, I've kind of oddly like made a little bit of profit on it as well, because there aren't any fees on Vinted, and I actually think it was fairly priced according to sold prices on Vinted that come up when you do your listing, and then also sold prices that were on eBay as well. I don't think it's that person has necessarily like bagged some kind of massive bargain. It could be that they're going to clean it up and repair it and make it look good, but I don't really care anyway. So I have that, which then made me look at my Vinted pending balance, and that is at £41.99, so at 42 quid. If I add that onto the 450, I've basically covered all of the bills in the joint account for this month from money that I know is like coming in. It's definitely coming in. And I was just like floored by that. I was just kind of, oh, so the work that I've been doing does occasionally pay off, does actually sometimes work. So that's really positive. And then I've already paid like £30 towards this month's groceries, so I've got £70 left to pay towards groceries for the month. So like the next £70 that I earn like will technically go towards that. I've already paid for a few of my personal expenses for the month, and that means I think I probably need maybe another like £50 or something like that to cover like the rest. So like the next £50 that comes in after the 70 kind of technically will cover that. And then I've got on here, I need about £150 to £175 for Christmas stuff. That can come partly from November, partly from like early December money that comes in. And then sort of after all of that's done, I then need to finish paying for October, which I think is about £200, something like that. Short I was in the end. It might have been slightly more than that. And then after that, anything that comes in can go towards August. So I'm already thinking about not so much covering the month that I'm in, but kind of just getting myself back on an even keel. And it feels doable and achievable. So watch this space. I'll try and keep you updated with how I'm going. I'm just giving you kind of like ballpark figures and things at the moment, because it just, honestly, the time that it would take to sit and work everything out precisely, it's not worth it. You wouldn't get a video out of me every day this week if I did that. So yeah, so that's some good news financially, and also some good news I think in terms of some clarity around the reselling arm of my online income. Now then, today, what are we going to do today? I think this morning is going to be a little bit kind of mixed, miscellaneous bits and pieces that I need to catch up on. I did write some of those down actually. I kind of want to also as well, because I'm free roaming in the house today. I haven't got to worry about, gate crashing someone's meetings and stuff. I'm going to kind of make use of that and buzz around the house and do some bits and pieces, as well as doing some work. It's just easier that way. An hour of miscellaneous reselling. So again, a bit like I have done on previous occasions, just set a timer for an hour and focus on anything that's reselling related, apart from my dispatch, which I will do like properly on a Thursday morning, but all other things. So adding some extra listings, rephotographing anything that needs rephotographing, which is rare, but I was unhappy with, I think, the photographs for about 4 items that I had on my phone. Yeah, get some of those listings up in that hour, reply to any comments and bits and pieces like that. I've put on here 30 minutes of replying to YouTube comments, because that video that blew up a bit meant that I just got to the point where I just didn't have the time or the energy to answer a lot of the comments that are still coming in on that video. And then there's comments that are coming in on the video that I released last night, which was Monday's vlog, and I'd like to get back to those people as well. I don't think half an hour is enough to kind of clear all of them, but I can make inroads into it. and just like clear a chunk of them. And then some of them I think I might just have to resort to just like liking them and hearting them and kind of moving on, because it reaches a point where you can't answer everyone's question. It's not a great use of my time. There's not enough of my time to be able to do that. So for now, I'm going to get on with some of that reselling work. Right, so we have crossed off a couple of things on the to-do list for today. I have done the miscellaneous reselling hour. It was slightly less than an hour actually, because I realised that I'm quite behind where I wanted to be today. And I also did the 30 minutes of catching up on the comments, which was fantastic because I've only got, I think, 10 comments left to respond to that I haven't replied to yet. So that was really cool. And what I might do is just do another 15 to 20 minutes later on in the day and kind of get those final ones done, and then I'm up to date, and then hopefully I can just stay up to date again. It really was just because I had that video that got more views than usual, which meant it got more comments than usual and stuff, and it was just a little bit trickier to keep up, but we're nearly there, we're nearly sorted. So that's really, really positive. And the next thing that I'm going to do is edit yesterday's video footage, probably spend about an hour on that. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get it done within the hour, sort out a thumbnail, get it all uploaded, get all of that sorted out, which is just great. It'll be so good if I manage to get the 5 vlogs out, just in terms of a time management perspective, and also how good it's been for me, like checking in every single day with you lot and being able to kind of clarify my thinking around things. And then this afternoon we've got like a little creative project, and I'm going to be setting up something that there's absolutely no guarantee that anyone's going to be interested in, but I think it's a really simple thing to do that's kind of an extension of what I do already, rather than trying to start a brand new thing from scratch. I have got quite a lot of things ticking over in the background that are they're starting to come forward, like the time to bring them forward is fast approaching, and I might even speak about some of those by the end of this week as well, just so that you guys have got a really clear picture of where I'm headed with certain things. But yeah, let's get on with some video editing then. It's lunchtime and I don't know why I've got like a bright red cheek on one side, but there we go. So today it's 1 o'clock and I'm only halfway through editing yesterday's footage, because what's happened is I've filmed too much, and it's a really tricky thing. So normally when I put out a vlog, I don't care how long it is. It can be like 50 minutes or an hour long. That's absolutely fine, because it's just one of them, and it's probably like one every 2 or 3 weeks, maybe like one a month or something like that. But because I'm trying to do them every day, what I'm doing is, where I'm stopping to film a bit too much, I'm affecting the work that gets done on that day, and then that's following on into the next day where I'm editing too much footage. So we are going to film just, I think, 2 more segments today. I will, after I've had my lunch, I will record me working at something, and then I'm going to record a little summary of the day. And I think that should be enough, because I spoke a lot this morning and I have to remember that, and I have got so many things I want to get on and do today. So the thing that I was going to tell you all about, stay tuned, because that's going to have to go into tomorrow's, because I've over chatted today. Anyway, I'm going to go and have a look for something I can have for my lunch. There's a bit of soup left over from yesterday, and there's a little bit of smoked mackerel left in the fridge. I think what I'm going to do is just pick at the little bits of things that need using up, because I hate food waste with a passion. I hate it. I hardly ever throw away any food. So I'll have those 2 things that I mentioned, which is just like a really weird combination. And then I'll have a look and see if there are any other little things that need using up. I'm going to see you properly at the end of the day to let you know how the afternoon has been. Hello, I'm back again. This is going to be it for today. I have a slight confession to make though. It wasn't actually that yesterday's footage was too long. It was that I'd put all of yesterday's footage into my editing software and then I'd tacked on the final version of Monday's vlog. So I essentially had 2 vlogs. And that's why it looked really, really long. I suddenly got to the end of yesterday's footage and it started rolling into Monday's and I was like, what on earth is going on here? And then realised my error. So I probably could have filmed some more stuff today. Anyway, such is life. I'm sat here now having started to tackle the thing that I will now tell you about tomorrow, having realised that it obviously was a little bit more involved than I thought, but I think I've got to grips with it and I've set up part of a thing. I'm not being deliberately mysterious, it's that I just, it will make more sense tomorrow when I tell you about it, so just ignore me now. So I've set up part of a thing and then I need to create some artwork to go with the thing, but I need my iPad to do the artwork on, and my iPad is currently uploading the vlog. So I'm down here at the moment with a cup of tea and a biscuit as a little afternoon treat. And I'm just thinking, right, what can I get on with now that is like 45 minutes long-ish, that kind of, maybe an hour long task that doesn't involve the iPad or the computer upstairs. I'll think of something. I will not waste this time. And while I'm thinking about that and doing that thing, I have mixed feelings at the moment. We're halfway through the week and I just need to change because my arm's aching holding it up. We're halfway through the week and it feels like I'm running out of time, even though I am making some progress. It's that feeling. I always feel like I can do more than I actually manage to fit in. And I think it's because I used to do more. I used to do more when I was a teacher. My days were jam-packed. I worked until 10, 11 o'clock at night. I was up at 5:30 in the morning. I did so much during the course of a day. But my pace has changed because I don't need to be working in such a frenetic way. I just need to be working it in like a fairly, I suppose, structured, smooth, focused way. It is what kind of works for me. So tomorrow morning, we are doing any dispatch. I think I've got 4 parcels on eBay that need dispatching. There's nothing on Etsy that needs dispatching. I've got a couple of things. No, I think I might have 3 things on my personal eBay. And I've got a couple of things on Vinted. So, there will be some dispatch to do tomorrow. We'll get that done. And then I've got some photographs on my phone for things that need to be listed on to Etsy because I've reached my eBay target. I've still got to do quite a bit to get to my Etsy target. There's just so much to do, but we are getting there. Oh, the other thing that I did as well is I checked how much net income I've got from eBay so far this year. And it's about £5,500, which I thought was quite interesting when I compare that to what I said earlier today, where I talked about actually maybe this isn't an 8k income stream for me anymore. Maybe it's more of a 6k one. I think by the time we get to the end of the year, my net income is probably going to be maybe 6.5, 7. And then when I take off what I've spent on stock over the course of the year, it may well come out at around that 6k mark, which actually, as you might have noticed this morning, I've sort of come to terms with, and I don't feel that bad about. And now I know to plan for that for next year. I feel a bit more in control again and less panicky. And it's that thing of, I'd rather know than not know kind of what's going on. So I think overall that's been a positive thing, just to kind of look through everything and rethink what my expectations are. Anyway, we will talk more and we will do more tomorrow. Thank you so much if you are sticking with me this week and watching the vlogs, and it's been lovely to read your comments, have a chat with some of you. By all means, share what's going on for you this week in the comments section below, and we'll catch up again tomorrow.